Hello, and welcome to this Foster Care Institute online training webinar, Why Children Lie and How to Best Address It. I'm your host, Dr. John DeGarmo, the director and founder of the Foster Care Institute. And as a foster and adoptive parent myself of over 50 children, this is something that I have struggled with, and this is something that I continue to struggle with. So this is a very, very relevant topic, not only for you, but for me as well. Our goal during this webinar is to increase the awareness of why children in foster care might lie and how to help stop this behavior. Our key objectives are to increase your awareness of why a child in foster care might lie and the reasons behind this behavior, and to give you an understanding of how to develop and implement strategies designed to best provide support and help as you try to prevent a child from telling those fibs, from telling those lies. Now, we've looked at this before in other webinars, but I want you to go back and remember this. When a child arrives in your home, it is a difficult time. Once again, please imagine a 7-year-old boy or a 7-year-old girl, like the girl pictured on this page here, late at night, without any supervision or notification whatsoever. A caseworker shows up, knocks on the door, perhaps a police officer is with the caseworker, and they take the child. The child is removed from the home. The parents are screaming. The caseworker is yelling. The police officer is stern. There is shouting going on. There is crying going on. The child is removed from her mom and her father, sometimes removed from her siblings. All of her stuffed animals and toys and pets are left behind. Her clothes and belongings are left behind, except for the ones that are brushed in a plastic bag very quickly. She no longer with her friends, her family members, her relatives, aunts, uncles, cousins, grandparents, her house, her neighborhood, her school, everything she knows, suddenly, without any warning, has been removed from her life. And instead, she has been placed into a strange home. My friend, that strange home is your home. She's placed with a strange family. My friend, that strange family is your family. You are strangers. She's not familiar with her home. The caseworker leaves. It's late at night. You tuck her into bed, and she has those questions. Why am I here? When do I see Mommy next? Will I ever go home? And the next morning she wakes up. She does not know where the kitchen is. She does not know she's allowed to have food. She goes to a strange school where the students around her, she does not know who they are. Her new teacher has given her a book to read and spelling words and math homework to do, but she has no interest in that. The students in the cafeteria are laughing at her. She thinks they're laughing at her, but they're just laughing. They're having a fun time. And she is scared. She doesn't want to be in school. She doesn't want to be in your house. She wants to go back to that environment, her home, her norm. Forget all the abuse that she may have experienced. Forget all the neglect she may have experienced. She wants to go back to her mother and her father. It is a very, very scary time. She is filled. Her body is racked with anxieties, swirling around inside of her. Emotions she does not understand. She is confused. She is highly confused. She doesn't understand why she's been removed from her mother and her father. She doesn't understand why a caseworker came and took her. She doesn't understand why all of her belongings were left behind. She doesn't understand why she's sleeping in your home. She doesn't understand your new rules. She doesn't understand your expectations. She doesn't understand why she's in a new school. She is completely and 100% confused. She is scared. She has feelings of fear. For some children, it is a time of anger. They are angry at their situation. They are angry that they've been removed from their home. They are angry that they are living in your home. They are angry with these new strange rules and these expectations that they don't want to follow. They are angry because they're in a new classroom. They are angry because they're already behind academically. For some children, they just don't trust anybody. They don't trust the caseworker. They don't trust the new teacher. They don't trust you. It is a time of distrust. It is a time of anger. It is a time of fear. It is a time of confusion. It is a time of anxiety. And for these children, it is often a time where they have complete loss of control. There is no control in their life. They did not ask to be removed from their home. They do not have any control of being removed. They don't have any control of living in your home. They don't have any control of how long they're going to be with you. They don't have any control over your rules. They don't have control over their new school. They have no control whatsoever. Quite simply, they are scared and they are afraid. For so many children placed in foster care, their lying comes from a place of fear. They lie because they are afraid. Think about that. They lie because they are afraid. This lie comes from this place of fear. When they look at you and say, "Michael did it, it wasn't me," they're most likely very, very afraid. Look at that picture. The girl obviously is taking the cookie right from the cookie jar, but she's saying to you, "Shh." So, why does a child lie? Well, let's look at that. During the toddler years, they get what those are known as their first fibs. As a child's language begins to develop at this early stage in their life, these new words are still new and foreign to them. Not only do they have an unclear idea of what words might mean, they also have an unclear idea of what the truth is and what the truth may not be. You see, this age group struggles to see the difference between reality, between what their wishes might be, between what a daydream is, and what their fears are made. For so many children in foster care, we know that they are afraid and they're full of fears. This fear is unknown to them. It is foreign to them. At this age, they are simply afraid and confused. So as a child is filled with these strong emotions of the moment, and of the moment I mean the strong emotions that are swirling inside of their body, and they're struggling to understand these emotions, they are also struggling to try to display his independence. So when he says to you, "It wasn't me, she ate the cookies," he is struggling to understand the emotions inside of himself, the confusion, the fear, the anxieties. At the same time, he's desperately trying to show you, as a child in foster care, that he doesn't need you. He doesn't need the foster mommy, the foster daddy. He doesn't need his new brothers and sisters in his home, in his foster home. He doesn't need anybody. He can do it himself. Like me, you probably have many children come through your home who are like this, who are fighting to display their independence. I recall a 10-year-old in our house. He was a group of 3 siblings. He was so fierce. He just wanted to show my wife and I that he didn't need us. He didn't need anybody in his house. He could do it by himself. He didn't need to be in the foster care system. It wasn't his fault. It wasn't his parents' fault. He could do it by himself. And the entire time he was with us, he struggled. And he struggled to tell the truth as well. As a child gets older, in their preschool age, their tails begin to become a little taller, right? Those tall tails. This is a time, those preschool ages, 3 to 5 years of age, where they begin to experience monsters in their life. In fact, I have a 5-year-old in my house right now who runs around yelling about monsters, but she does it with a smile on her face. She has those invisible playmates. They may have their invisible friends. I have an 8-year-old in my house right now who is a child from foster care, and she has invisible friends. I ask you this. What was the name of your imaginary friend? Did you have one? So while it may be a wild lie to you at this age, their imagination is just soaring about these monsters or these imaginary friends, while their imagination seems to you to be just completely crazy and off the hook, so to speak. While it may be a wild lie to you, it may also be a way that this child in foster care is processing the new information in their life, processing this new world around them, processing these new ideas. This idea of, hey, I'm not going to live with my mom and dad anymore. I'm living with this strange family. Hey, these new rules and expectations are new to me. This new bedroom, this new house, this new brother, this new sister, this new puppy dog, these new people at church. They're trying to process all of this in those preschool years, and it is very, very difficult for them to do so. They just don't understand at this age what the foster care system is all about. They don't understand why they're in foster care. They don't understand why their parents may have abused them in some way or neglected them in some way. They don't understand why they're living with you. So the lies may become wilder and wilder. At the same time, we also need to remember this. For a child, particularly a child who has had tremendous abuse or neglect committed against them, a life of fantasy can be a healthy one because it can stimulate a healthy imagination. You know, my wife has a non-profit organization for children in foster care called A Happy Childhood, where she takes children from foster care to Disney World. And if you've been to Disney World or Disneyland, then you know that is a land of imagination, started by one person, Walt Disney, who had an incredible imagination. And what did that imagination lead to? A world of fun, a world of play. So for a child who has a life of fantasy, it can lead to a healthy imagination. If it wasn't for imagination, there would be no rockets to the moon. There would be no cars. There would be no planes. There would be no internet. Imagination can be a wonderful thing. So it's sometimes okay for this life of fantasy to develop in a child, particularly a child in foster care who has had so much abuse committed against them or is suffering from pain. For those school-age children between the age in elementary school, lies may progress, and they may become more common at the same time. See, at this age, when children are in elementary school, they begin to test the boundaries in their life. They're beginning to test the boundaries in your home. When you say no, do you really mean it? They're testing that. Now, if you're like me, in our house, no means no. But we've had so many children come to our home who have never had any structure, who have never had any stability in their life, who have never had any expectations placed upon them, and who have never had any rules in their life. So they don't understand the boundaries in our household, those boundaries that are set in place to keep them safe and to protect them. They begin to test those boundaries to see if we really mean them. Have you had children in your house like that? I imagine the answer is probably yes. You may have children in your house right now who are testing your boundaries. They're also trying to see how far they can get away with something in your house. Remember, for children in foster care who are placed in your home, most likely they don't see you as their mommy or their daddy. They still want to go back home to their mom and their dad, their norm, their normal way of life. So they're testing you to see if they can get away with something. Many of these lives revolve around a significant change in his life at this age. School. You know, before they were in school, their preschool ages 2 to 5 years of age. They weren't in school, but school now takes up a tremendous amount of his time. Think about that. When a child is placed in your home in foster care and he's in school, he is spending the majority of his time each week where? Yes, at school. His waking hours he is spending at school. He gets up in the morning, teeth are brushed, clothes are put on, he has breakfast, and where does he go? He's off to school. He's there for many, many hours of the day. And then when he comes home, there may be a little bit of homework. And then it's dinner time, it's playtime, it's bath time, it's bed. And the next day, same thing, school. Most of his time is spent at school. It is a tremendous change in his life. So a child spending a great amount of time in school may lie to you about their homework. Oh, I don't have any homework. Oh my goodness, I hear that all the time in my own home. They may lie to you about the classes. They may lie to you about their teachers. Well, my teacher said this. My teacher said that. They may lie to you about their friends. Lying is very, very common at this age, and it generally revolves around school. For a child in foster care who is going to a brand new school, a school he did not ask to be placed in because he did not ask to be placed in your home, lies are very, very common about school. It's a huge change in their life. Many times children lie simply to get out of trouble. He broke a rule in your house. He wants to lie about it. She didn't turn her homework in. She's going to lie about it. He got in trouble at school. Sure, he's going to lie about that. She broke your favorite vase. But no, not me, she says. He hit his younger brother. His response was, he hit me first. She didn't do her chores. Her response was, yes, I did, or I forgot. They're going to lie to you because they don't want to get into trouble. But think about this. Many of these children in foster care are lying to protect themselves. Think about those children who have come to your home who have lived a life of physical abuse or sexual abuse by their parents. Every time they turn around, they're being hit, they're being slapped, they're being kicked, they're being physically beaten or sexually abused. They don't want to get in trouble. They are afraid. So they're going to lie in your home. Of course, you're not going to hit them or physically abuse them or sexually abuse them. Your job and what you want to do the most is protect them. You want to protect them from this type of abuse. But they are afraid. They are afraid. They're afraid that you might do the same thing that their parents did. So they are going to lie to you. They're doing it to protect themselves. Nothing to do with you. I'll say that again. They're lying to protect themselves because they are afraid of you because of what their parents did to them. Has nothing to do with you. Other times, children of this age are lying to get your attention. So many children in foster care have never had a parental figure pay attention to them in a positive way. Say something nice to them. Play with them. Read a book. Help make cookies. Ride a bike. Fly a kite. Do a puzzle. Play a game. They've never had these children. A parent say, well done. Good job. Hey, come over and sit next to me. Do you want to watch a movie? They've never had that in their life. So they're lying to you to try to get your attention. See, a lie might be his way of getting a little attention from you. He just doesn't know how to reach out to you. He is craving, my friend, from attention from you. So he might lie to get your attention. So many children in foster care often feel that they are a disappointment to others. They feel their disappointment to their mother, to their father. After all, why are they in your home, they think? They ask those questions, why am I here? They're thinking, did I do something to upset my mom? Does my mom no longer love me? Do my parents hate me? Did I do something wrong? So a lie might be a way of not trying to be a disappointment to you, their new parental role model, their new parental figure in their life. And they don't want to upset you or disappoint you, so they're going to lie about something. They're doing it not to upset you, but in other words, not to disappoint you at the same time. Children of this age also lie to avoid something. Those children who have been constantly hurt, constantly suffered abuse, constantly have suffered some type of pain or neglect. Well, a lie might be a way on their part of avoiding more pain, of avoiding more abuse, of avoiding more neglect. It might be a way of avoiding trouble in their life. They're trying to protect themselves. For children in foster care, a lie so many times is simply this: a survival skill. It is a survival skill. And then we hit those tweenager years, not ages 9 to 12, and my goodness, those are tough ages. You know, those ages when the children's hormones start to explode. Girls discover boys and vice versa. They're trying to cut those apron strings, so to speak, and try to become independent. Well, this time their life begins to really, really change, and hormones are beginning to rage inside their body. And in fact, those hormones are beginning to rule their decisions. So, where once a child discussed everything in detail to you as a parental figure, they may gloss over those details of their life at this age because they're trying to become more independent. They're trying to gain that independence. At the same time, this is the age where they may try to pull a fast one on you, so to speak, and see if they can get away with something even more so. Those tween and teenager years, well, children may lie to individuate himself from his parents or to keep part of his life separate from you. You as his caretaker, you as his foster parent, you as a person who's watching over you. He's trying to keep that part of his life separate from you. This is the age group in high school or middle school or high school where they start hiding their cell phones from you. They start hiding their text messages from you. They start hiding their computers from you because they don't want you to see the information. They're trying to keep a separate life. At the same time, they may be lying to try to fit in with their fellow students, their friends, their peers. Are trying to make friends at school. Remember now, when they're placed in your home, they could be going to a new school, and they're desperately, desperately wanting to make a friend. They don't want to be a foster child. They don't want that label placed upon them. They're trying to fit in and be normal, trying to gain acceptance from their friends. So they may lie to try to fit in. Finally, she might lie to you because she thinks your house rules and your restrictions are too tight, too complicated, too restrictive, and she feels she does not have enough freedom like others her age. This is when you hear, well, so-and-so's mom lets him do it, or so-and-so gets to do that. Now, as a foster parent, have you felt like this? Have you felt like this when the children are lying to you? Have you just felt frustrated? Sure, I have. It's normal. It is normal for you to feel frustrated when the children are lying to you. At the same time, remember this: it is also normal for children in foster care to lie. So what do you do? What do you do? For a child who already has issues of trust and attachment, how do you address a child who lies? How you address them can be very, very difficult and very, very tricky. Let's look at what not to do. This is what not to do. When a child lies to you, do not come down upon them with harsh punishments, with screaming and yelling and tremendous restrictions, because that may alienate or push a child further away from you. Those long-winded speeches that I like to give my children, nope, I need to say those for something else, right? Right. And we both know this. So many children who come to live will come to live with us and are placed in our home from foster care. So many of these children have never had any type of moral upbringing or have completely different value system than you do. So we don't want to sit there and get in those harsh punishments. We don't want to have those long debates. We don't want to do that. What we want to do, first of all, we want to take time to think about the reason why he is lying to you. Take a moment to think about what is behind that lie. Is she lying to you because she's trying to protect herself? Is he lying to you because it's habitual, because he doesn't know how to tell the truth? Is she lying to you because she's scared and afraid? Is he lying to you because he's trying to impress you? Does she want your attention so much that she's lying to get it? When a child lies to you, think about that. Take a moment to step back and ask yourself this. Why is a child lying? What is behind this particular lie? What are the emotions that the child is feeling right now? So when a child does lie to you, we want to make sure we stop the lie in its tracks immediately. When you see that a child is about to lie or is in the middle of one, stop them. Simply ask a child to stop. Say, sweetheart, can you stop for a minute? Think about this and then tell me it again. Sweetheart, just go ahead and stop for a moment. Take a moment to think about it. Take a moment to take a breath. Go back in your memory and tell me what really happened. Tell me about the parts that you remember. This is what you do. Ask them how it really happened. Ask them to tell you the parts that they remember to be true. Again, some of these kids do not know what the truth is. So discuss with them what truth is versus fantasy, what truth is versus imagination, and what truth is versus make-believe. My friend, you know this to be true. Most likely, the child placed in your home has never had anybody explain that to them. You very well could be the first person to tell them what the truth really is and to discuss with them what truth is versus make-believe. When children are young, read books to them about the importance of honesty and about telling the truth. You can find those books online. You can find them at Amazon.com. You can find them in your public library. And of course, model truth to the child at all times. At all times. Take time to develop a very personal relationship with a child. More than anything else, a child in foster care wants to be loved. Sure, you're going to give them stability, and you're going to give them structure, and you're going to give them that healthy diet and all those great opportunities, but they want to be loved more than anything else. So take time to develop a positive relationship with the child. When a child has that strong, that personal, that healthy relationship with you, the lies will begin to decrease. They don't feel they have to impress you anymore. They don't feel they have to get your attention anymore because guess what? You are already impressed with them because you explain to them, you show it to them, you tell them. They have your attention because you're spending time with them. The lies will begin to decrease. Now, be open to listen to the child. Create an environment in your home and in your family where the child knows that she can come to you at any time, morning, noon, night, middle of the night, whatever it may be. They can come to you freely without your judging them and share her thoughts, share her feelings, share her concerns, share her fears. Again, do this without judging. If they come to you and start talking about their parents and you feel their parents were just simply not the best parents, you have some of your own opinions about them, keep those opinions to yourself. Keep that judgment to yourself. Do not let them know what you may think about their parents or judge them about what they're feeling. No. Instead, just listen to them. Give them the opportunity to speak. Create an environment of trust when you listen. Now, this does take time to happen. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen right away. You have to consistently model that you're going to listen to the child. If she comes to you and you're cooking dinner, stop and listen. If he comes to you and starts talking about what he's feeling and you're working on your computer, stop and listen. If you're riding in the car and the radio's on and he wants to start talking, turn the radio off and listen. He is ready to speak to you. It took him some time to do so. She now wants to express her fears and concerns. She's ready. She trusts you. Be open for that. Reassure the child that despite the fact that she may have made a poor choice in her lie, you're still going to love her. It's called unconditional love, right? You love the child unconditionally. Display this unconditional love with your words and your actions. Remind them on a day-to-day basis that they are important, you care for them, and you love them. When a child lies to you, they may have never had anybody to believe them or anybody to believe in them. Let me say that again. A child in foster care may have never had anybody in their life believe them or believe in them until they came to live with you. So you need to give this child as many opportunities as you can to tell the truth. And when they do tell the truth, catch them in the act of doing so and praise this behavior. Every time they tell the truth, catch them in that act and tell them, great job, I'm so proud of you, thank you for telling the truth, thank you so much. And you give them wonderful, wonderful praise. They need to hear it from you. This will reduce lying. Now, as you allow the child opportunity to tell you the truth, allow the child more opportunities and more privileges. So when they're telling the truth and you catch them telling the truth, congratulate them. Reward them. Tell them how wonderful you are and how wonderful they are and how excited you are for them and how thankful you are. Give them some privileges. Hey, you told the truth. You can stay up a half an hour later tonight. Thank you so much for not lying and telling the truth. You can have an extra cookie. Hey, you went all week long without telling a lie. You can watch a movie. Hey, you told the truth about school. Here, let's have a new book. Or maybe if you're brave, you'll do what we did and buy your child a pet. Yes, that's what we did. I am still regretting it a little bit myself right now. But, it was a big step for a child. Big step. So we bought a child a pet. Perhaps you're brave. When a child is lying to you, don't resort to yelling and shouting at the child. It's not going to help. Instead, remain calm. Remain calm. The child may have always been yelled at before moving to your home and joining your family. They may have lived in an environment where they're yelled at all the time. But if you remain calm and discuss the problem calmly, it will help to diffuse the situation and reassure the child is safe and may cut down on the lies as well. Now, in our household, we're all about consequences and choices. Everything's a choice and everything's a consequence for that choice. Create consequences with a child when he lies to you and talk about those consequences. Talk about the choice that was made by the child to lie to you. Sweetheart, you chose to lie, and here's the consequence. You may say something like this. If you choose to lie, then you'll choose not to have dessert tonight. Or if you choose to lie, you'll have to go to bed early tonight. I still love you, but you'll have to go to bed early tonight. If you choose to lie, and there's no TV this weekend. Remind the child that there are consequences to every single action they make. Is there a consequence for every child? Right? Every child should learn the importance of consequences. Remind the child that you still like and you still love that child, yet a lie is not a choice that will be acceptable in your home or in your family. Of course, be consistent. Be consistent with your punishments. If he lies, maybe the consequence in your home is there's no dessert, or there's no movie, or there's going to bed early. Use those same punishments. Be consistent with your punishments and the consequences the child shall face when they lie to you, because she will know then that, oh gosh, if I lie tonight, that means I won't be able to watch a movie. Or if I lie, I know I'm going to go to bed early, because that's what happens in your home. Those are the consequences. Those are the rules. Use natural consequences. If you do this, here's the consequence. And of course, constant encouragement. The child needs constant encouragement from you in all areas when they're placed in your home. whether they're doing wonderful in school, or maybe they raise their grade up from a failing grade to a C. Encourage that. Maybe they learn to eat their dinner, everything on their plate for the first time. Encourage that. Maybe they're not screaming and yelling in your house anymore. Encourage that. Maybe they're no longer cursing at you. Encourage that. Praise that. And of course, when they tell the truth, encourage that and praise that. Consistently praise that child in your house, in every single area of his life. And let him know that you understand how hard it might be for him to tell you the truth. Sweetheart, I know it's hard for you to tell me this. I know it's hard for you to tell me the truth. But thank you for doing it. Encourage them and praise them at all times, and then make good choices in their life. My friend, for a child in foster care, it's going to be normal for them to lie to you. You are a stranger. They are afraid. They're trying to protect themselves. They're trying to shield themselves from more abuse that they've suffered. It's a survival skill. They're trying to impress you. They're trying to get your attention. Remember this. When they lie to you next time, take a moment to step back. Think about what this lie is coming from. What are the emotions this child is feeling? And then deal with it and how we talked about it. For more, check out the book, The Foster Care Survival Guide, the essential guide for today's foster parents. You can find this book and all of my foster care books on our website, in any good bookstore, and of course online as well. Hey, being a foster parent is not easy. It can be a very tough job. It can be tough when they're lying to you as well. But I want to thank you for remaining calm. I want to thank you for continuing to care for that child. I want to thank you for giving that child all the praise and encouragement that he craves from you. And when he lies to you, I want to thank you for remaining patient and calm with him and continuing to love him. For the Foster Care Institute, I'm Dr. John DeGarmo.